Hello and welcome friends. In this video we will talk about the 2004 film Head in the Clouds. Welcome to our channel Maxi Blunt. The film begins in Paris in 1924, where we see 14-year-old Gilda, who goes to a female fortune teller in the market. The fortune teller refuses to tell Gilda her future, but when Gilda tries to know the truth from her, the woman tells her that you will die at the age of 34. Now 9 years later, an Irish boy named Guy is studying in Cambridge University in England. Gilda suddenly comes to his room one night. Gilda had a fight with her boyfriend, and she was hiding from him and the warden of the boys' hostel. She asks Guy for permission to spend the night there, and Guy says yes to her without thinking. Everyone knew Gilda, because her father is a rich man, and her mother is also a rich American. But because their marriage has broken, Gilda lived alone. The next day Gilda's boyfriend Julian comes to thank Guy, because if someone had seen Gilda there could have been a problem. And he invites Guy to a party being held at his house. He says that Gilda wants you to come to that party. He does not find Gilda at the party, and after drinking a little too much, he falls asleep there. When he wakes up, he realizes that I cannot mix with the rich people in their life, and I am not as modern as them. And he says the same thing to Gilda. And then both of them start liking each other, and spend the night there. The next morning Julian sees them, and after a few days Julian and Gilda separate. One day everyone gets the news of Gilda's mother's death. And then Gilda meets Guy and tells him that I am leaving England. And I am doing this because I want to travel the world. After a few days Gilda's letters stopped coming. And while completing his studies, Guy finally forgot Gilda. But then after a few years, while watching a film, his eyes fell on Gilda, who now works as a junior artist in films. And then coincidentally a few days later, Gilda's letter came, in which she had written that I live in Paris again, and want to meet you. And Guy left everything and went to Gilda. Gilda is now a photographer and lives in the same house with her boyfriend. But she still likes Guy. A Spanish girl Mia also lives in that house with Gilda, who wants to become a nurse but also models for Gilda. Mia also knows that Gilda does not fall in love with anyone, and she lives with other people only for a few days. But Guy feels bad seeing Gilda with someone else, and that is why he comes back to his home in England to his girlfriend Linda. But the very next night Gilda comes to his house. Linda knew how much Guy loves Gilda, and that is why she leaves Guy and goes from there at that very moment. But this makes both Guy and Gilda happy, and they start living in Paris. And Mia also lives with them in Paris. Leaving his job, Guy now starts working as Gilda's assistant. Guy, Gilda and Mian were now lost in their strange relationship. And then big events were happening in the world. Guy supported Spain's independence and Mia also wanted his country's independence. But Gilda had nothing to do with all this. Gilda did not like the man with whom Mia had started mingling. And one day Gilda's suspicion turned out to be correct. Gilda saw Mia in a bad condition, and she came to know that the man had beaten Mia badly. But Guy and Gilda could not do anything about this, because that man mixes with big people. But one day Gilda calls that man to meet her, and Gilda goes to meet that man after lying to Guy. On one hand, Mia and Guy were seeing the situation in Spain, and understanding each other better. So Gilda was with that man on the other hand. But it was not as the man was thinking. Gilda had only gone to punish him for what he did with Mia, and she succeeds in doing so. Mia and Guy understood the things happening in the world. But Gilda wanted to run away from all those things. She was running away from all those things which were coming in between her luxurious and free life. And that is why she did not care about the things happening outside her life. And then one night Guy tells her that I want to marry you. But Gilda refuses to marry. Guy gets hurt by this, but he soon forgets about it. For many days, Guy was troubled due to the war and slowly started moving away from Gilda. She was not able to understand that this war is also a part of Gilda's world. And after a few days, Guy decides to go to Spain with Mia. Hearing this, Gilda is devastated and starts hating Guy, because she started considering Guy a traitor for doing this. In 1938 Guy becomes a soldier. While fighting he finds a locket, seeing which he felt that like this dead soldier, someone must be waiting for him too. Mia and Guy kept sending letters to Gilda, but she neither read those letters nor replied to them. Years later, Mia and Guy met in a camp, and at night they both promised to meet each other. That night, when they met, they both started talking about Gilda. And Mian said that one day you will meet Gilda again and you both will always be together. Before going to sleep, Mia tells him that I loved Gilda, and we both used to be together, and says that I was happy with Guy and Gilda. But the next morning Mia and Guy got separated again. And that was the last day when both of them met each other. Because as soon as they left from there, a bomb fell on Mia's car, and he died at the same time. Guy gave this news to Gilda by sending a letter, and Gilda could not bear this news. After a few months, Spain lost the war and Guy came back to Paris. But when he went to meet Gilda, Gilda left from there without meeting him, because she was still angry that Guy had deceived me and went away from me with Mia. By the next year, Germany had occupied many countries apart from Spain. And Guy understood that the war in Spain was just the beginning. And after 6 years, Guy started working as a spy for British intelligence. But one day he saw Gilda, who was living with a French soldier, and he started thinking about her again. Because of this, Guy did not forget his work and purpose, but still he started feeling bad seeing Gilda with that Frenchman. His companions started understanding that Guy used to go to see Gilda. And that day Guy saw that Gilda had completely fallen in the eyes of the people around. He could not stop himself and went to Gilda's house and came close to her again. After some time Gilda asks Guy to leave from there. But Guy wanted to know why she lives with the enemies. But she says that I do not want to live alone and this is just a game. Guy wanted to know whether Gilda loves him or not. But Gilda says that I do not consider you a part of my life anymore. After meeting Gilda, when Guy met her head, he threatened Guy and said that if you tell anyone about Gilda, then I will kill you with my own hands. But in the very next meeting, Guy again won their trust and became a good soldier in their eyes again. Now Gilda was called the Germans' mistress. Gilda started getting disturbed by all this but could not do anything. And she had to get used to this thing. That night Gilda had heard France's conversation. And she came to know that France had laid a trap to catch Guy and his companions. And to tell this, Gilda met Guy the next day. She takes him out from there in disguise, and then tells him that I really love you. Those German soldiers catch one man, but are unable to catch anyone else. Guy wanted to meet Gilda again, but then the day of their attack came, and they started preparing to fly a train. The bomb is put in the train but the German soldiers see them all and attack them. A lot of effort is made to escape from there, but only Guy manages to escape. And the fellow who was captured is also tortured and killed. After recovering after several days, Guy goes to London, where he finds out that Gilda was in cahoots with the revolutionaries, and was deliberately mingling with the Germans. She had actually gone there for an undercover operation. The war was about to end and the Germans had to return to their country. But the people of Paris still considered Gilda a traitor, and were treating her badly. France wanted to take Gilda with him to Germany. But Gilda refused to leave from there. Then France is attacked and France is killed in front of Gilda in her house. On the other hand, Guy goes back to Paris to get Gilda, and wants to get her out of there as soon as possible. But the next morning the people there reach Gilda's house, and take her with them to avenge the death of their family members. Meanwhile, Guy reaches there with difficulty, but he was unaware that Gilda has been kidnapped. Guy tried very hard to reach Gilda, but before he could reach there, a person came to Gilda and killed her to take revenge for his sister's death. Even after the war was over, Guy never met Gilda again. And in the end, he only got Gilda's last letter in which she had written the reason for every decision she made. She already knew that she was going to die soon, and did not want to get close to anyone. But in trying to escape death and postpone her end, she lost the 2 people she really loved. Still, she could not change her fate. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, please like and comment. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.